Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for watching this webinar. My name is Yuting, and I'm the registered migration agent located in Western Australia. I'm the registered migration agent from Aussizz Group, migration education consultant, and I'm based in Western Australia, Northbridge office. Today, I would like to share some information with you regarding the parent visa. So in today's topic, I'm gonna give you the detailed instruction of the PR visa, the parent visa, as well as a type of long-term tourist visa for parents. It is called subclass 870, sponsored parent visa. Before I start today's topic, please allow me just a few minutes to introduce my company to you. Aussizz Group, we are a trusted name for visa and education services in Australia. Our headquarters was founded in 2009 in Melbourne, and just during the past 13, 14 years, we have expanded, and now we've got over 30 offices in the whole world. Our skilled migration agents and education consultants in Perth, helping students with pretty much with everything. Our service includes student visa, course admission, and then followed by the graduation visa, general skill migration, employer sponsor, and also, of course, the family visas, such as this parent visa or partner visas. Also, we can help, like I personally, and also all my other colleagues who are migration agents, we can help you with the AAT appealing if you unsuccessfully, your onshore applications were refused or your visa was cancelled. We can help you with the AAT appealing as well. Currently in Perth, just in Perth itself, we have 4 offices. I am located in Northbridge, and also we have another 3 offices in Canning-Vale, Perth, and Joondalup. We also, since last year, we also opened another office in Hong Kong. This is Aussizz Group Hong Kong office. Just in Northbridge branch, we got 3 migration agents, 3 MARA agents. Iris, May, and Yuting. We can speak English, Mandarin, Cantonese, Vietnamese, and lots of other languages as well. And this is our education team member, Diana, Isabel is the team leader, and Cindy. So yeah, just now I've really quickly covered the scope of service we can provide. Basically, migration education, as well as lots of other language coaching classes. These are all the services we can provide. Basically, as long as you need any help regarding Australian education and migration, please come to Aussizz Group. Okay, so let's start our today's topic, parent visa. Like what I said, I'm gonna cover 2 types of visas. The first one is the PR visa, and the second one is a long-term TR visa for parents. So parent visa, this permanent resident visa lets a parent of a settled Australian citizen, Australian permanent resident, or eligible New Zealand citizen move to Australia and permanently stay with their children. There are several different subclasses of parent visa. If we classify them according to PR and TR, they can be classified into PR visas and TR visas. So under PR visas, there are 4 different subclasses: 103 parent visa, 143 contributory parent visa, 804 age parent visa, 864 contributory age parent visa. Also, there are another 2 types of TR parent visas, which is called 173. This is contributory parent visa. Once you get this visa, within 2 years' time, you should move ahead to apply for the 143 visa to become the real PR. 884 visa, that's called contributory age parent TR visa. Same as 173, it allows you to stay in Australia for up to 2 years time, but within the 2 years time, you should continue apply for the 864 visa to become the real PR. Barely, to be honest, barely, like most of the people, most of the applicants, they would straight away apply for the first four types of PR parent visas. There are barely applicants they would go for 173 or 884 visas unless they're facing some financial hardship. They cannot straight away pay for the maybe the contribution at once. Then only those people they might first choose to go on the TR visa leading to PR visa after 2 years. So today, I will mainly discuss with you about the first four types of PR visas. So this is a parent visa matrix. Because there are so many different types of parent visa, I made this table for you, for you to have a better understanding or a clear idea of what's the difference. Okay, so as what I said just now, if we classify the parent visa according to TR or PR, we can make them into two big categories. Alternatively, we can also classify the parent visas as per the cost of the fee. So the first type, the first big type is contributory parent visa. So contributory parent visa means you have to pay more, but as a return, the processing time can be shorter. So under contributory parent visas, there are two big categories: aged parent visa or non-aged parent visa. So aged parent visa, under aged parent visa, there are again two different types of visas: contributory aged parent visa, which is subclass 864, or contributory age parent temporary visa 884. Like I mentioned, if you want to go for this TR leading to PR, you must apply for the 864 visa within 2 years since you got 884 visa. So age parent visa, what does it mean? It means if the main applicant, he has reached, his age is at a certain age, which is at the age pension in Australia, then they can apply for the aged parent visa. Here, I made a table to give you a clear idea of at what age you could be considered as aged parent visa applicant. All right, so most of the parents, they should be born, I would say they should be born after 1955. So if you were born since 1st of July 1955 to 31st of December 1956, then the pension age is 66 years old and half. All right. Or if your birthday was since 1st of January 1957, then the pension age is 67 years old. So make it very easy. If you were born since 1st of January 1957, and now if you are still under 67 years old, then you will be only eligible for parent visa, either contributory or non-contributory. Instead, you wouldn't be eligible for the aged parent visa. Only if you have turned to 67 years old, then you will be eligible for aged parent visa as well. So what's the difference between aged and not aged parent visa? Actually, the application fee pretty much it's the same. Okay, the only big difference is if you are eligible for the aged parent visa, no matter whether it's contributory or non-contributory, all right, you must apply this visa onshore while in Australia. And by doing so, once you get the visa lodged, you will be entitled to get a bridging visa for you to lawfully stay in Australia to wait for the parent visa decision. However, if you are under the age pension, you will be only eligible for the either non-contributory parent visa, which is subclass 103, or the contributory parent visa, which is subclass 143. For these two visas, you can either apply while in Australia or out of Australia. However, no matter where you apply for the visa, you will not be able to get a bridging visa, which means if you are under that certain age pension, no matter where you apply for the visa, you wouldn't be able to get bridging visa. Okay, so while waiting for the parent visa to be granted, if you want to come to Australia to visit your children, you still need to apply for a separate TR visa, either a Vista visa or the 870 visa, which I will mention later, to visit your children. Okay, so yes, so we can classify the parent visa as per contributory or non-contributory. So the contributory means you need to pay extra. You need to contribute extra money, extra cost to Australian government in order to get a shorter processing time. Instead, non-contributory visas means you just need to pay for the initial application fee without making any extra contribution, but the processing time can be very long. Yeah, so this is another comparison table for your reference. Like I mentioned, if you are below the retirement age, which is either 67 years old or 67.5 years old, when you apply for the parent visa, you can only apply for the non-age parent visa, and there's no bridging visa can be granted. However, if you are at least at the Australian retirement age, when you apply for one of below visas in Australia, which are the aged parent visas, you can get a bridging visa. Okay, and this bridging visa will allow you to lawfully stay in Australia until your parent visa is granted or until the visa decision is made. Currently, the visa processing time for non-contributory parent visas can be 20 to 30 years or even longer. Instead, if you want to get a quicker processing time, then go for the contributory parent visas or contributory aged parent visas. These can shorten the processing time to 12 years or a bit longer. Even though 12 years, it sounds is still a very long processing time. It's still a very long time, waiting time. But unfortunately, as of current situation, this 12 years or 13 years is already the quickest option that you can get the PR visa for your parents, unfortunately. So when to make the contribution? Actually, this is a common, there is a common mistake or common confusion among lots of applicants. Currently, for all types of these parent visa, actually the initial application fee is almost the same. So for two parents, mother and father, if they are going to be combined into the same parent visa application, the initial application fee is roughly just around $6,000 to $7,000 for two applicants. This is almost the same to all types of parent visas, no matter whether it's contributory or it's aged or non-aged. So the initial application fee at the time of launching the visa is around 6 to 7K. Okay, but when to make the contribution, when to make the extra contribution, it is actually only by request by the Department of Home Affairs. And when the department will request for this contribution, usually it will be only 12 or 13 years after your visa lodgement, at the time when the case officer has already done the initial assessment on the application and they're happy with your documents. Only at that time, they will send you email, send you invoice requesting the applicants to make the further contribution. So currently the contribution fee for each parent, for each applicant is roughly 43K, which means if you are just after a non-contributory parent visa or H parent visa, then the total cost for you will be just around $7,000, but the waiting time can be 30 years or even longer. If you're after a contributory visa, okay, contributory parent visa or contributory H parent visa, the total cost, okay, the total cost from beginning to the end, it can go up to $50,000 per applicant. So for two parents, it can go up to $100,000. That's quite pricey, but the processing time can be shortened to 12 or 13 years. So that's the main difference. Here shows you the current queue release date. Yeah, as we mentioned, as we all know, the parent visa, no matter which type of parent visa, the processing time is quite long. So immigration, they don't even bother to give us a standard processing time, because the processing time can be affected by lots of factors. All right, so instead of giving us a standard processing time, they only give us this release date, queue release date, as a reference. As at 31st of March this year, the subclass 143 or 864 applications, the queue date has gone up to June 2017. Subclass 103, which is non-contributory parent visa, the applications has a queue date up to December 2011. And for subclass 804, which is non-contributory H parent visa applications, it has a queue date up to January 2013. Because we know parent visa requires, they got some requirement. Okay, so the very basic requirement for parent visa is that you must have an eligible child who is happy to sponsor you to get this parent visa. So who is considered as an eligible child? First of all, this child, he must be an Australian citizen or PR or eligible New Zealand citizen. And also he or she must have been settled in Australia. So here, the definition of settled is this person has lived lawfully in Australia for a reasonable period. And the reasonable period usually is at least 2 years, which means if your child, let's say if a PR, they got the permanent resident from offshore, straight away from offshore, and this person, he just recently moved to Australia, settled down in Australia in January 2024, then is this person an eligible child to sponsor his or her parents to get this parent visa? Unfortunately, no. Why? Because even though he is already an Australian PR, he does not meet the settled definition. Why? Because he just recently landed in Australia in January 2024. So in order to meet the definition of settled, he needs to continue staying in Australia for at least 2 years, which means the earliest time he can meet the eligible child definition will be January 2026. Okay, so since January 2026, you can start to process this parent visa for your parents. Any other child of the parent is an ineligible child. So an ineligible child is taken to be resident overseas. If you're currently in Australia but holding another TR visa, let's say student visa or work visa or 485 graduate visa, all of these temporary visa holders are not considered as an eligible child because you're not Australian PR yet. If a child's whereabouts are unknown, we consider they are resident in their last known usual country of residence. Apart from that, also the partner visa applicants, they must meet the balance of family test criteria. So what is balance of family criteria? Okay, so simply speaking, you must make sure at least 50%, half of your children are the eligible children. Um, what is eligible children? As we mentioned, they must be Australian citizen, PR, or the eligible New Zealand citizen, and they must settled settled in Australia. So these are considered as eligible children. So if you have several children, let's say if you have two children, okay, as long as one of your children are the eligible child, you can pass the balance of family test. However, if you have three children, then at least two of the children must be eligible children. If you only got one, then it's less than 50%. You wouldn't pass the balance of family test. Okay, so what type of children are considered? The parents and their partner's children, including stepchildren and adopted children. A stepchildren is the parent's current partner's child, or even your former partner's child who is under 18 years of old and in relation to whom you have guardianship, custody, or a parenting order in force under the family law. Stepchildren born from polygamous or concurrent relationships are not considered in the balance of family test. Other children that would not be counted are the children who are already passed away, or the child who has been removed from the parent's exclusive legal custody by adoption, court order, or operation of law, or the children who are registered by the UNHCR, United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, as refugees and live in a camp operated by the UNHCR, or children who live in a country where they suffer persecution or human rights abuse and cannot be reunited with their parents in any country. Okay, so those children will not be counted in this balance of family test. Back to the eligibility. So once you pass the balance of family test, what other requirement you need to take into consider? Health. Okay, so health requirement is also very important. Is one of the very important criteria that you must pass, and also the character requirements. Apart from that, you have to arrange for an eligible Australian to lodge a refundable bond, which is called assurance of support when required. So when this will be required, same as the contribution fee, usually it will be only required by the Department of Home Affairs at the like just before they're about to make the decision. So even though now, let's say at the time of visa application, maybe you haven't found an eligible Australian to lodge these refundable bonds, that is totally fine. Because anyway, even if you go for the contributory parent visa, it takes at least 12 years to process. So which means you have 12 years to arrange the contribution fee as well as to find an eligible Australian to lodge this bond. The other key points I would like to emphasize here for you to consider are as listed here. For age parent visa, be always keep in mind, for age parent visa, the main applicant must satisfy the pensionable age, which is the retirement age. And when they apply for the visa, they must be unsure. Once the age parent visa are lodged, the parents, the applicants, they will get the bridging visa. If they want to continue staying in Australia on bridging visa, then the insurance must be maintained. Okay, so cost of private health insurance is also a very big cost that you should take into consideration beforehand. For non-aged parent visas, these type of visas can be applied either in or outside Australia, but the applicants will not be eligible for a bridging visa, no matter where they apply for. Contributory visas makes processing time shorter by contributing a large sum of money when requested by the Department of Home Affairs. In terms of the Medicare, lots of applicants, they would ask, like before they launch the parent visa, they would ask, so once I apply for the parent visa, because it's a PR application, right? Because it's a PR application, am I eligible to get the Medicare? And can I get the free, the medical services in Australia? Unfortunately, the answer is no. So apart from partner visa, actually from all of the other types of PR visa, it is true that as long as you launched the visa, you will be eligible to get the interim Medicare card while in Australia. However, the only exemption, the only exclusive is parent visa. For parent visa applicants, you will be only eligible for Medicare benefits when your parent visa is granted, when the PR is granted. And also be very careful on the increased risk of changes in your health. Because parents, they're already at their 50, 60, or even 70, 80 years old. So with age, there is an increasing risk of changes to health over time. So consider if the aged parent cannot satisfy the health criteria. All right, consider this. I would strongly suggest all of the parents, if they meet the eligibility, please apply the visa as soon as possible. I'm actually suggesting the PR visa holders or the Australian citizens, if you think your parents have no other options, then definitely they will end up living Australia with you under your caring. Then why not? You should start to apply for the parent visa for them as soon as possible, because the older the older they get, the more health conditions, the more health issues they might have. That will definitely affect their chance to get the visa approval. So if you can apply for their parent visa today, don't wait until tomorrow. Be very careful. All types of parent visas are only paper-based application, so there is no online application available for these visas. These here I already listed the application, where you should post your applications to. Basically, the processing center is based in Western Australia, so you should post your application or send your application by courier to this address. And just now I mentioned the processing time for parent visas are always changing. So why? There are a number of reasons that making the parent visa processing time change. It can be the changes in planning level, which means for every financial year, it depends on how many slots, how many budgets the government will allocate to parent visa. For example, last financial year, there were only 6,800 slots offered that were allocated to the parent visas. Compared to this year, in comparison, this financial year, we got around 8,000 slots for parent visas. So this matters. All right, it depends on the planning level. Secondly, it depends on how many parent visa applications are submitted every year, even every day, every month. Also, it depends on how many applications are withdrawn or refused. Lots of other reasons will make the processing time different, changes. Okay, so just now all of the information I give to you is based on the PR parent visas. Um, I would also like to introduce this 870 sponsor parent visa to you, because not all of the parents of AU citizen or PR are eligible for the parent visa, because usually it's because of the balance of family test. Like what I said, if the parents they have several, they have two or more children. Usually, if they have three or more children, then if only one of the children are settled down in Australia, they wouldn't be able to pass the balance of family test, which means they wouldn't be eligible for the PR visa here. Is there any other visa option for them to um, stay in Australia for long term without keeping traveling overseas on visitor visa? The answer is yes. Okay, yes. Now let me give you more information about this sponsored parent visa, subclass 870. So this visa, it is specially designed for the parents of Australian citizens or Australian PR or eligible New Zealand citizen. Okay, so it's designed for these parents to spend longer period of time with their children in Australia. This visa, the visa duration can be either 3 years or 5 years, depending on how many years you want. So two options, either 3 years or 4 or 5 years, and the cost will be different as well. Once you run out of the first 870 visa, you might be eligible to apply for a second 870 visa. So each applicant, each parent, they can apply in total maximum twice 870 visa in their lifetime. So this is also a a sponsored visa. The parents, they must have an eligible sponsor, which is their children, to sponsor them to get this visa. And the sponsorship application must be approved before the sponsored parent can apply for this visa. So it's a two stages visa. First, the child, which is the sponsor, they need to lodge a separate sponsorship application for their parents, wait for the sponsorship getting approved. Only after that, their parents can lodge this 870 visa application. So the criteria for 870 visas are: the parents must be the biological, adoptive, or step parent of the sponsor. And for the sponsor must be an Australian citizen or an Australian permanent resident or eligible New Zealand citizen, usually resident in Australia for at least 4 years. So different from the definition of settled eligible child for the PR parent visa, which only requires the child to have been living in Australia for 2 years. Here you can see the requirement for the sponsor for the child for 870 visa is even more strict. It requires the sponsor to have been living, usually resident in Australia for at least 4 years or more. Other than that, there is a special income test requirement for the sponsor to pass as well. So being the sponsor, the child's the most recent completed financial year, the income, the taxable income must be no less than $83,454.80. For example, if you're going to launch the sponsorship application for this 870 visa today, okay, in May 2024, then the most recent completed financial year would be the financial year of 2022 to 2023. So you must first check whether your last financial year's taxable income is at this many. If not, you may not even be eligible to apply for this visa to be the sponsor. You wouldn't be able to pass the sponsorship application. If you're married, then you can combine the taxable income with your spouse, but still half of the required taxable income should be from your side. For example, if you're married, all right, if you're married, you were earning, you earned, let's say 50K last financial year, and your spouse earned another 40K. So in total, you and your spouse earned 90K as the taxable income last financial year. And also because you earned at least half of the amount, then you definitely you can pass the income test. However, for another example, if you only earned 30K as the taxable income for last financial year, while your spouse earned 55K or even 100K, even though your combined taxable income is over this $83,454 requirement, but because your income is less than half of the required income, which is less than 42K, you still wouldn't be eligible to be the sponsor for this 870 visa. Yeah, so the visa duration, it can be either 3 years or 4 years, depending on how many years you would like to apply. It can be extended for your parents can apply for a second 870 visa. Okay, so in total, 870 visa can give your parents up to maximum 10 years stay in Australia. The key features of 870 visa is, first of all, there is no balance of family test. Okay, so there is no balance of family test, which means to apply for this visa, the parents do not need to worry about how many children of mine have been the PR or citizen. Okay, they don't have to worry about that. As long as they have one of their children who are usually reside in Australia as PR or citizen, then that is fine. Okay, the visa application fee. For a 5-year 870 visa, the application fee is $11,470. For the 3-year 870 visa, the application fee is $5,735. Both of these two application fees, they are paid in 2 installments. So the initial application fee paid at the time of visa application is just around $1,000, and the rest will be paid by request before immigration is going to make the visa decision. Apart from that, the sponsorship application fee is $420 for the sponsorship application fee. So again, this visa is a 2-stage visa application. The sponsor, which is the child, they need to first lodge a sponsorship application, wait for the sponsorship approved. Okay, then the parents can lodge the visa application. And also, when the parents are lodging the visa application, they must be outside Australia. So this 870 visa must be lodged while the parents are offshore, unless the parents have any compelling compassionate reason and they can get the permission from immigration to apply in Australia. This type of when you can seek for permission, when you can try to get the waiver, it's at the time when the child is lodging the sponsorship application. Yeah, there will be a question asking, would you like to seek for permission to apply in Australia, or would you like to seek for a waiver? Then you can tick yes, providing that you have any evidence to show why you cannot apply this visa from offshore. For example, you're suffering from any health condition, or you have any compelling compassionate reason. Yep. So this 870 visa, it can give you maximum of 10 years of cumulative stay permitted by applying this visa twice. Parents are not required to depart during the validity of the visa. This is the beauty. This is the beauty of this visa. As everyone knows, if your parents are just here on the subclass 600 tourist visa, usually they have to keep traveling overseas and coming back on a monthly basis, like on every 3 months or every 6 months or maximum every 12 months. So Visitor visa is just a very temporary, it's a very short stay visa for parents to hold. And because the parents, they are already at their 50 or 60 years old, most of the parents, they are unfit, sometimes they are unfit to travel. And also because the flight tickets is also pricey. So if you want to keep your parents stay here with you for a longer period, 870 visa is the best option. Okay, it's the best option. It still gives your parents multiple entry rights. So if they want to go overseas, they can. They can go. They can depart anytime, and they can come back anytime during their visa validity. Um, so yeah, so as what I said, the parents may be eligible for a second 870 visa. However, the sponsor must also reapply to be the family sponsor. So if your first 870 visa expires, then you have to repeat the application from beginning. The child needs to lodge a brand new sponsorship application waiting for approved. Then the parents can apply for a second 870 visa, also from, it must be from offshore unless getting any waiver. The parent must leave Australia for 90 consecutive days before making the second application, although the sponsor can request the applicant be permitted to lodge onshore in specific circumstances. So here, specific circumstances refers to compelling and compassionate reason. Condition 8103, no work, will be applied to this visa for sure. And also, that parents must maintain adequate health insurance while they are in Australia holding this 870 visa. So the adequate health insurance, usually it's the Vista Health cover. Be very careful while holding, or if you have already applied for the 870 visa, okay, you cannot apply for all types of parent visa, such as 103, 143, 864, or 804. So what does it mean? It means if you are thinking you want to apply, first of all, if you want to apply for your parents, the PR visa, and also you want to, because the parent visa processing time is very long, while waiting for the PR visa, you want to bring them here on a long-term tourist visa. What you should do, you should first lodge the parent visa, which is the PR visa. Only after that, apply for the 870 visa for them. You cannot do vice versa. You cannot do the reverse. Okay, you cannot first apply 870 visa for them, then apply parent visa. Because once you apply the 870 visa for them, or if even if they are already on 870 visa, that will prevent them from applying for the parent visa until the visa ends, or unless you want to cancel, ask for cancellation of this 870 visa. But of course, the application fee is non-refundable. So be very careful of the sequence. You should first apply the PR parent visa for your parents, then apply, only after that, apply 870 visa. Okay, so pretty much these are all my prepared information for you. Okay, so feel free to ask me any question if you have. Here I can see, well, we've got quite a lot of questions. I'll try to answer one by one. Um, ah, well, I can see most of the questions are about the general skill migration. Unfortunately, today we are just discussing the parent visa. So I will first answer the questions that belongs to parent visa. Okay, then I'll see if I got more time to answer the other questions. Is 14 N is asking, is 143 visa applicable? If no, bridging visa, what will happen to our child here? Um, so N, um, Are you the sponsor or are you the parents? I'm not very sure, but yes, if you are only eligible for if one is only eligible for 143, which is the non-aged contributory parent visa, then no matter where you lodge the visa application, you will not have a bridging visa. Okay, there's no bridging visa. So if you want to come here to visit your child, or to stay in Australia, like what I said, you can see if you are eligible for the 870 visa, or worst case, just come here on Vista visa, surplus 600. Oh yeah, so I guess Anne asked two questions. Okay, so the first question she was asking is, what about parents of child that was granted citizenship on 10th birthday? What is the right parent visa with bridging visa? Okay, so yes, unfortunately, the parent visas, the all of the parent visa today I discussed with you, it is for the parents who got an eligible child who is already an adult, which means who is aged 18 years old or older. It's not for the parents of a dependent child. So, and your question is very valuable, but it's in a very rare cases. So, if you would like to discuss more, please feel free to contact us personally, and we can give you further information. Navdeep, he's asking, what is the processing time for surplus 804? Okay, so what is the processing time for 804? Let me go back to my slides on that Q release date. So yeah, Navdeep, here you can see the current Q release date for subclass 804 application is up to January 2013. So, like what I said, the immigration, they never given us a processing time for this parent visa. We could only give you guide based on our calculation. So how we calculate the processing time, it's based on the pending, okay, the backlog, the pending parent visa applications, the number of pending applications, and then the budget for every financial year divided by the financial year budget. So usually for parent visa, every financial year, the government would only allocate 6,000 to 8,000 slots. All right, they would only give us 6 to 8,000 slots. Then divided by the total number of pending parent visas, we could get this type of estimation. So currently for 804 visa, it will take around 30 years because 804 visa, it's non-contributory age parent visa. Any more question related to parent visa? Okay, I still got 5 minutes, so I will just answer one or two questions which is not related to parent visa. Hi, Pooja, she's asking what is the status of invokedness in Victoria. Not sure if you're asking about the state nomination in Victoria. Yeah, so because now it's coming to the end of financial year, so you might see the invitation is getting quieter. Yeah, so but still, enrolledness is a very, very good occupation. Even if you couldn't get invitation in this financial year, still finger crossed, I have a very good confidence, like I have a very positive confidence attitude towards enrolledness no matter which state you're in. Okay, it should be quite easy for you to get invitation. Mohammed, I am an early childhood teacher living in Victoria with 80 points for 190. Okay. And 75 points for 189. Is it a good score and what are the chances? Yes, like what I said, well, in road nurse, Victor, like a teacher, these occupations are the best currently, the golden PR occupations. So 75.4189 is already a very, very promising point. But the only problem is since this year, since January, there were no invitations for 189. There were just no invitation round. We are also looking forward to seeing when the independent migration this 189 invitation round will be issued. And I personally, I guess there should be at least another one invitation round by end of this financial year. Hopefully my feeling is right. If there is invitation, then 75 points for 189 is already a very outstanding point. Kartik, he's asking, what are the chances of getting invitation for a diploma of automotive engineering, which is motor mechanic, light vehicle motor mechanic? See, Kartik, I have no idea which stage you're in and what points you're sitting with, so I can't give you any suggestion on that. Okay. Okay, and yeah, there is last one question about the parent visa. I will only answer this question. After that, um, feel free to, for whomever got the question, but it is not related to parent visa, feel free to contact me personally, and we can arrange a further discussion. All right, so the last question belongs to Jayesh Kumar Patel. My dad's 73 years and my mom's 69 years old, and they came Australia since last 10 years on 600 visa, and all my siblings here in Australian citizen. So my parents eligible for 870 visa or any other visa leading to PR. Okay, so if all of your siblings are Australian citizen, I'm not sure if you are, I assume you are, or even if you're not, as long as all your other siblings are already Australian citizens, then your parents should be definitely eligible for the aged parent visa or aged contributory parent visa, because your dad and mom, they are both at the retirement age. Okay, they are both over 67 years old already. So you should look into the subclass 864 or 804 visa. If they are still here, then you should straight away apply for their visa directly. If you are the PR or citizen as well, then you can be their sponsor. Otherwise, any of your siblings can be the sponsor. Okay, and also, yeah, yeah, I would say this is already the best option for them. Okay, hope this answer helps you. All right, it's 4 o'clock now, so thanks so much for watching my webinar. And yes, so for any question, feel free to contact me. My name is Yuting, and I'm the registered migration agent located in Western Australia, Northbridge office, Aussizz Group. My contact number is 086220 Thanks for watching. You have a good evening. Thank you. Bye bye.